Hello and welcome to the shop. My name is Mike. This is Props to History. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe and the little bell notification to get all of the notifications. The 1980s were sort of a lawless wasteland when it came to film, particularly sci-fi and fantasy, and even more particular, with the weapons that were created for those films. You had the Sword and the Sorcerer with its three-bladed sword that somehow shot the blades out, and then you had more iconic pieces like the M41 pulse rifle. But one of the strangest weapons that ever appeared on screen was this, the Glaive from KRULL. Now you really have to watch the movie, but essentially the film is about some aliens from the future that show up to snatch a princess, but they have a castle that changes position each day. And then a king without a kingdom has to get her back, but he has Liam Neeson and Robbie Coltrane to help him. It's actually one of Liam Neeson's very first films. I think Robbie Coltrane's as well. Either way, you gotta watch the movie. Fantastic soundtrack. But this is what most people remember from it, is the Glaive. Now in the film it has magical recall, he can throw it and it comes back to him somehow, and it's really the only weapon to defeat the big bad. This started out as a kit that I got from RPF user RelicMaker, and I've bought a lot of stuff from RelicMaker in the past. He makes amazing pieces, and this is no exception. It's an all metal casting. All of the jewels are separate, the little bits of colored resin come in it. It came completely chrome silver, and the blades were separate, and it required very minimal cleanup work to get it to where it is now. But it's chrome. Silver chrome, so it needs to be gold. Well, how do I do that? And there's a plethora of ways to get a gold finish, a gold metallic finish. But with it already being chrome, that made my life easier because I used a process called tinting. Now, fortunately for me, I have access to a very large spray booth with really good ventilation, so you'll want to do this in a very well ventilated area. I started by hanging it up so that I could have access to it, and we're going to be tinting it with the thing called Artist's Ink from a company called Copic. And it is simply applied through an airbrush. It doesn't require any thinning. You can just pour it into your airbrush and it runs through pretty well. I use 70% alcohol to clean it up through the airbrush, so it cleans up very, very easily as well. This is something that's done somewhat slowly. You have to do it thin layer at a time, and the more you add, the deeper the color of gold. And while there is quite a bit of white trim on this thing, this video is focusing solely on the gold tint. But it's just applied a layer at a time until I achieve the desired effect. And that's the desired effect right there. Now as for assembly, I'm using a 2-part epoxy from Smooth On, and I'll just speed up this process so you don't have to sit through it. Applying the jewels to the other side is just the same thing as this side. And there you have it, one complete glaive from the movie KRULL, minus the white trim. Now, I'd like to thank RelicMaker above all for making this kit and making it possible for me to actually finally own one of these things. And I'd also like to thank Prop Store for letting me come out to London and have a look at the surviving one, the surviving practical that I got to play with. And if you want to find out more, I'll link the auction below, the auction page for the one that's sold. And then I'll also go ahead and link RelicMaker below. And if you want to check out more about what I do, I'll link all of my other social media accounts down below. But until that time, don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you again for watching Props to History.